Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, June the 14th, 2023. Wednesday, June the 14th. Okay, let's get this recap started. I called it with the whole Audra and Kyle, meet up. Yes, they met up on at the jazz lounge. That's where everybody's going. Remember when Noah made his club? Everybody was going to the glam room. Well, now everybody's going to the jazz lounge. At least it's decorated better. Oh my God, I hated the decorum of Noah's club. It was like he threw a bunch of things together. Like he's just like, let me put in this color, let me throw in this kind of couch over here, let me throw in, that kind of couch over there, and just see what will stick, right? So that's exactly what they did. But anyway, we all know Noah's gone off the show. He and Allie are Splitsville for the show, so they're no longer here. So now let's talk about what's happening. Audra, you know how she is. I'm a I'm a good listener. Let's see. Ambition, because he goes, I've heard about you. Your ambition. There's nothing wrong with ambition. That means I know what I want and I'm not afraid to go after it. So you look like you have a story to tell. Like I said, I'm a good listener. Kyle was like, no, I really don't feel like talking. But I tell you what, you have until I finish this drink to talk if you want. So she, she does her Audra stuff, and she wasn't too overtly flirting, but with Audra's whole body language, and she says things that can have a double meaning, but not those obvious ones, right? But if your mind wants to go there, the things that she says will take your mind there. Well, Kyle actually didn't go there yet, because she was talking to him and he said something about being, happiness or whatever. And she goes, are you happy? And Kyle didn't answer her, but he didn't like say, look away, like, oh no, I don't want to. No, he was just like, I'm not getting into it. He finishes his drink. He tells her to have a good evening, and he walks away. And she's looking at her cup, you too. But I'm thinking she ain't done, and she knows she's going to make sure she runs into him again. Oh, it's going to happen within 2 days. That's the way they work on soaps. People get in the orbits, right? Within 2 days, she's going to be back in Kyle's orbit. So we have, that whole encounter, which was, I thought it would go further than it actually did. In the scenes, they kind of made it like Kyle was going to be flirty with her, but you know what? This time, he wasn't. He wasn't flirty. You could just tell he has a whole lot on it. Because she brought up, ooh, with what's happening with your mother-in-law, and what's happening with your wife. Oh, that's, I think, what got him not to say too much to her. Because I was getting ready to say, careful, Kyle. She's with the media, right? She's with the media. So don't even go too far with that. So good, he didn't. He didn't bite. But they'll be talking again. He'll be pissed off at Summer. And see, he's going to leave because she'll be Kyle. Because Summer sees him. I'm ready to talk. I would like to talk. And he goes, no, not tonight. And he turns from Summer because this is later at the house, and he walks away, and she's like, no, Summer. Every time for months, actually weeks, Kyle was like, Summer, let's talk. I want to be here for you, Summer. Summer went, I have to go. I just have to go. Okay. Well, now he ain't got no time for you. Handle that. He don't want to talk to you. She tried to bring up something. Oh, Harrison, I was reading him a story, and he's so cute. And Kyle just looked at her. Like, for one, I'm surprised you were home long enough to read our son a story. I'm surprised, right? Because you ain't been around to read Harrison stories. And I was thinking, and she ain't been home long enough today to read Harrison a story either, Kyle. So don't believe that lie. But anyway, before Kyle gets home, Summer had come looking for him because she had the nerve to ask Mariah to help her. And Mariah proceeded to slice and dice her, telling her, you chose your mother over your husband. And you let his mother stay in jail for something she didn't do. See, the whole problem with that. Okay, if Summer would not have known, because during the part where once I found out, and now I am going to choose to let Diane stay in jail for something I now know she did not do. She should have done Daniel. Because no matter what, an innocent person should not be in jail. Now, I want to talk again about Diane and Jack. Stark by no means was a good guy. But when they framed him, laughed in his face as Chance was hauling him out, and they thought they were going to send that innocent man of that crime to jail. See, they don't have no problem doing that, right? They didn't have a problem. Summer's like, okay, but I had to help my mother. See, here's the thing. Phyllis wasn't dead. Right now, Phyllis isn't worried about being helped, with the faking of her death. She already knows, slap me on the wrist. Phyllis's whole worry is getting out from under the murder charges of killing Jeremy Stark. She doesn't want to be charged with murder because it was self-defense, and we all know it was self-defense, right? So, letting Diane out was the right thing to do. They were two separate things. And then you might say, well, look, how could she let Diane out and still protect Phyllis? Same way Daniel did, right? See, Phyllis's stupid behind was the one that had to come to town and be in a room at the athletic club. Phyllis did that. Daniel did the right thing, had the innocent woman released. Well, she wasn't in jail. Remember, she was on house arrest, right? As a matter of fact, when Summer found out Phyllis was alive, was Diane already on house arrest? I can't remember. You know what, y'all? Write in comment corner. When Phyllis revealed herself to Summer, I think Diane was on house arrest, or she got on house arrest that day. I think so. Because you know what? You ain't in jail. You right here laying in your cushy bed. Yeah, I'm keeping my mouth zipped. Now, you in jail where you could be shivved? Okay. I'm gonna get you out. But yeah, I'm gonna help my mama. So you know what, guys, I just did a 180 on that with Summer, right? Because I do believe Diane didn't have a trial date. It had not been even put on the docket yet. Okay. So it, just saying, a little double standard there. But Diane tries to talk to Summer, and Summer's like, okay, I know Kyle has already told you. Go ahead. I know you want to say how much you hate me. Go, I could take it. And Diane's to the contrary, Summer, I forgive you. Summer's like, wait, what? She's like, I forgive you. You were put in a rock and a hard place. Your mother put you in that place. She's the one that made you make a seemingly impossible choice. See, so Summer was like, well, like, is this a trick? Well, thank you. I'm sorry for not, coming forward sooner, or whatever Summer says. But see, then this is where Diane had to be Diane. See, because Phyllis is the whole reason everybody's life got turned up. Oh, she went in on Phyllis, and Summer said, excuse me, wait a minute, Diane. You're the one who brought Jeremy Stark to town. And she says, no, Summer, that was Phyllis, which it was Phyllis. But she goes, no. Stark was here to get back at you. You were the one with the relationship with him. What Summer should have said is, my mother may have told him where you were, but he was already on his way, which was true. He was already tracking down Diane, already, right? The article that first reporter came in when she was talking to Nikki and Phyllis, she's the one that brought up Diane, right? Tucker had the series pulled, but that was already out there. That let Jeremy know where she was. He just hadn't gotten there yet. So she says, all of this, Diane, this is all your fault. Thinking, dang, because of your past life, your past. My mother was just reacting. Yeah, it ain't true. Phyllis caused that. She was a tornado. But Summer let Diane know, oh, no. You're not off scot-free, and you do not. Just to be clear, you don't get to talk about my mother. And I thought, okay, I like that, because Diane is the kind, every minute. How was your day today, Summer? Did you get any sleep? I know it must be hard having a mother like you have. Thinking, what could Phyllis do next? I mean, I just wonder if anybody could get any sleep. As she's saying that with a smile on her face. Oh, did I misspeak? Oh, yeah, that's Diane. So I'm happy Summer's like, oh, no. Because she goes, and I'm also going to work on Kyle, tell him to forgive you too. So Summer's like, I'm not even going to stand here and listen to you say anything. Summer leaves, and Diane was like, what? Like, well, I'll be. What? Huh? Kind of ungrateful, right? And then we have Adam. He's watching over Sally. That's blah, 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 boring. Of course, Nick, like we said, he's out of jail. Chance comes back. No, that was yesterday. Chance comes back to the house because Victor comes in. They tell Victor Faith has been killed. How did that happen? And I'm thinking, because you're incompetent security. Because you're incompetent security, Victor. That's how that happened. And in a GCPD. That's how that happened. Faith and Sharon should have been held up at that main house. And then they should have made the main house a fortress. I've said that all along, right? But no, can't do that. We're just gonna wonder how does things happen. So Victor's like, okay, no. He's gonna get a security team. We have to meet Kirsten at this motel room. We think he bought this property because Chance found deeds to a abandoned old warehouse like garage that's kind of close to that motel. And now remember, he had Faith tied up and laid out, like passed out, or they chloroformed her there with some old abandoned tires you could see. And so Sharon says, you know what? This could be a setup. And Nick says, yeah. No, Nick said, wait a minute. Chance, where did you find these papers? It was in a bag that Kirsten left in the hotel room behind the couch. And it had the deed and everything. And Nick says, that's too neat. That's too clean. So Chance says, you're right. It could be a wild goose chase. So I'm going to take some men and I'm going to go check out the property, see if Faith is there. And then I'll come back. Don't you guys go anywhere. Do not go to that hotel. I'll be back. And in my mind, I'm like, how are they going to write this? Because the actual end game for Kirsten is not to hurt Faith. He could care less about Faith. I would honestly think Faith would be there. I would honestly think Chance will be able to retrieve Faith. Because Faith is not she was just a pawn to get Sharon's attention, to get everybody scrambling, looking for her. Why is my camera? There we go. Everybody scrambling, looking for her and leaving Sharon vulnerable. And it worked, right? So Nick says, look, we're going to that hotel. Me and my father and his security team, we're going to be right behind you. Nothing is going to happen to you, but I don't want you going in there alone. So Nick ties a knife around her thigh, not ties it, he tapes it with duct tape. Now, mind you, her dress is so flimsy, you could see the imprint of the knife. Come on now. I thought, Sharon, you need to wear something a little different than that for the knife, because yeah, it's flowy, but it's flowy enough that when it hits the knife, you see, well, what's that on your leg? Right? So Nick says, I'm going to head up to the main house to make sure my father has security all set in place. Keep the door locked. Nick heads out. I didn't really notice Sharon go lock the door, whatever. And I'm like, okay, something's not right with this picture. Sharon is left alone. Bozo Nick. You want to see if my dad has security in place? There's something called a cell phone. Bozo. Pick up the cell phone. Hey, Dad, how are the arrangements going? You don't have to leave Sharon unprotected. The main house is on the same property, but you can't reach your hand out the window and say, hey, main house, can I borrow a cup of sugar? It ain't that close. That's a huge ranch, right? Sharon, her house is in the neighborhood. Because that ranch is that big. We got Sharon's house is down here. The main house is up there. We got the tack house way over here in the neighborhood. So I said, oh, Nick didn't take Sharon with him? Oh my God, why? It's not like Faith was going to come walking back to the house and Sharon needed to be there for her. So Sharon is walking around. She's kind of getting a feel for the knife on her thigh. And all of a sudden, behind her coming down the stairs is, guess who? Cameron Kirsten. And I said, okay, Houston, we got a problem. Because That man has been in the house the entire time. See, wearing what? Newman security outfit. What did I say, everybody? We know the man has a Newman security outfit. Change the color to green, blue, I don't care, white. Anything other than black. Because bottom line, y'all, one of our security uniforms is being worn by this perpetrator. We all need to be able to spot him out like a sore thumb. So if everybody else is walking around in green or white or whatever color, wouldn't he just stick out like a sore thumb? Actually, he would arrive there ready to do his plan and go like, uh-oh, looks like I got to try to knock out another guard, right? And get that uniform. See, they would have different colors. See, no. To let that go like that, how'd he get in the house? Sharon's pretty much been downstairs in that living room. She was with Chance the whole time. It was Nick, Michael, Chance. She has not been left alone. And Nick again. He came in a window from where? Upstairs? What? He's Houdini. And what I don't like is they're making him way too smart. They're making him know every inch of everything and just know how everybody's gonna read. That criminal wouldn't know that at all. And the fact of the matter is, he wouldn't have been able to just be upstairs in that house. But had Nick taken Sharon with him, wouldn't have mattered, huh? Had Nick stayed with Sharon, Cameron would have had to have come and tried to take Nick out. He'd had to have made a noise upstairs so Nick would go, Sharon, Nick, and Nick would go, I'm gonna check it out. Nick would just go upstairs, no weapon, no, I'm not, because I'm Nick. And then Cameron would crack him over the head. Okay. But to me, that would at least have been more believable. But no, how'd the man get in the house? And how long has he been in the house? You mean he didn't have to go to the bathroom? He didn't have to walk around anywhere. He was just able to stand up wherever he was at for hours and hours and hours, hoping somebody would leave. That is so unrealistic, but that's how they writing it. And what I'm liking is they're making all of this happen fast. I am so happy, y'all. They're not dragging this out. I like it. I don't care what kind of writing we got going on, how improbable these things would work. I don't care. It's moving. Yes. Okay. So we'll see tomorrow. Sharon's going to have to kill him this time. Sharon is going to kill. What I would really hope is, bottom line, Chance comes back in and shoots him. Realistically. Chance comes back in and shoots him. But you know what? Throughout all of this debacle, nobody thought to put cameras in Sharon's house so that she could be monitored. Nick could hear her. The main house could hear. No. Because we got Newman security. We don't need none of that. No, none of it. And we got cops. Cameron's face looks like it's been pummeled by a boxer. But he can pretend he's a security guard, show up with his face jacked up like that. And not one of the security guards or police officers that's on the property noticed. See, there I go picking things apart again. I'm done, everybody. I'm done picking it apart. But it's interesting TV for YNR. YNR rarely has anything suspenseful going on. The last suspenseful thing going on was definitely not the Jeremy Stark situation. The one scene where Phyllis, we thought he was going to stab Phyllis, and Phyllis came out, but she came out the next day, the next episode. wiping the blood off of her hands. Him chasing her in that bathroom, that was suspense. This is suspense, and the only other time was with Ashlyn Locke. The wind down before he got killed. That was suspenseful. Him looking at Victoria in that, ooh, standing outside that window. Other than that, the Young and the Restless doesn't do suspense. So, okay, giving us something to talk about. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow for the next daily recap. I didn't see any comments on Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow.